Believe that you don't know everything about your goals and must learn more. Even if you've done extensive research about your goal, please understand that you cannot know everything. There will always be a blind spot. There will always be room for improvement. Most people are able to handle this, but the problem is the older you get, the more you assume. It's very easy to think that you know everything about your goals, so you assume that you've got it figured out. You admit that you don't fully see the whole picture, but you assume that if you see enough of the pieces of the puzzle that you'll be okay. This is a problem because assumptions short-circuit and undermine learning. You're not looking at your problem set with a fully open mind. Instead, you think that if you see certain patterns, you will just use solutions that you did in the past because this is familiar enough to you. You can't do that. Assume a growth mindset. When you assume a growth mindset, you know that you begin from the initial proposition that you don't know everything. You may have done this at some level before, but you haven't done this exact project before. When you assume that there are limitations to your knowledge, you are more likely to grow. You're more likely to ask for help. You're more likely to access resources to give you the information you need to make progress. How does this work? When you operate with a growth mindset, you first focus on your core competency. We're not jacks of all trades. We all have certain core competencies. Find yours. Once you've identified these, work outward from it. Here's how I do it. I look at my goal and I break it down based on my core competency. I list down the things that I know like the back of my hand, and then everything else. These are called non-core elements. What do you do with these? You can delegate, outsource, postpone, ignore, or forget them. It all depends on how important they are, what their effects are on your ultimate goal, and how pressing they are. Regardless if they fall outside of your core competency, do not hesitate to delegate, outsource, postpone, ignore, or forget. By doing so, you increase your mastery over your project. You focus on what's important and you leave less important stuff to the hands of experienced specialists, people you work with, people you respect, or you just postpone, ignore, or forget. This leads you to become a more effective goal manager.